Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your man James, aka JP, back again with another toy room review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new McFarlane Toys Avatar: The Last Airbender Aang with glider. Yesterday we took a look at Appa, so if you didn't see that video, be sure to definitely check that one out before or after this video. It'll be on the screen at the end of this video for you to click on. Now, this is the deluxe version of Aang with the glider. There is a standard version of Aang that does not come with the glider. It only comes with Aang and the staff. It does not include the glider. That version is $10 and it comes on a basic single card like this. However, if you get the deluxe version with the glider, you get the bigger packaging and you're going to have to pay $15. So for an extra $5, I figured it was definitely worth it just to have that glider. Even if I don't use it to display it, it's better to have it than to not have it. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the packaging. So the packaging is pretty identical to what we saw with Appa. You have the Aang right here in the avatar state, and of course you have all the different nations symbols and elements all throughout the packaging, just kind of very nice and discreet. Of course, you have the big window right here that fully showcases the glider, Aang, as well as his staff, and in the back you can see the little mountain designs, which is very nice. On the side you just get the continuation of the elements. On the back you get, I would say a little read up, but it is pretty big, but if you guys want to read that, you can go ahead and pause right now. And then you get this image of Aang straight from the cartoon, which looks amazing. And coming to this side, you just get a continuation of all those different symbols and whatnot. So that is pretty much it for the packaging. So let's go ahead and get Aang out of the packaging, and we'll take a closer detail look at him. Alright, you guys, and here is Aang out of the packaging. Now, before we take a look at Aang, we're going to take a look at his accessories. And the first one we have here is his staff right here. So this is just done in a solid brown. There's not really too much detail to it. And it is done in like a softer rubber material. So it is very bendable and very flimsy. The only really details you have are these little dots right here. So you have the 2 dots up there, and then you have 1 dot down there. Other than that, there's not really much detail to it, but there is his staff right here. Then along with the staff, we also have his glider. Now this thing is very, very awesome. This is also done on a softer, like rubbery material, so it is very bendy. However, there are some very nice details on here. You can see the texture right here, man, that looks very, very nice. All this texture right here on the orange to make it look like a fabric material just looks absolutely incredible. And even the way that they sculpted it to make it look like the staff is like right here underneath it, which maybe it might be, I don't know, but either way, it's just a very, very good detail right here. And I just love the way that that looks and it feels, man, very, very nice. And then you of course have the same thing going down here as well. Just very good texture detail all the way through, and then the rest of it does feel just like exactly like the staff, and essentially it is a staff just with some added pieces, but yeah, done out of that same rubbery flexible material. But man, it looks absolutely incredible. I am a very, very big fan of this, and I'm happy that I picked this setup over the basic set. So that's it for the accessories. I will zoom in here and get a closer look at Aang. So he is done very, very nicely. As you can see, I feel like this is one of the best looking Aangs that we have ever gotten in action figure form. It just really, really does a good job of capturing that cartoon likeness of Aang. Just gonna zoom out just a little bit. The camera's having a hard time focusing. To be focused there. So as I was saying, it just does a really, really good job of capturing the likeness of Aang. It just looks very nice, very happy-go-lucky Aang right here, and I just love the way that it looks. And I love the way that the neck looks, because that was my biggest complaint with the Loyal Subjects version, is it looked like he had no neck. So this one has a nice looking neck as well, which is very nice to see. But anyways, paint and everything's really nice on the head. And then coming down to the outfit, again, I love all the texturing details that they have all throughout here, just to make it look like it is some sort of like leather or fabric material right here. It just looks very, very nice. I'm a big, big fan of that. Now this is a 5-inch figure, so I'm very impressed with the amount of detail that they were able to get into these 5-inch figures. Yeah, man, just all this texture detail all throughout, and the sculpting with all the wrinkles and everything. You have his hands right here with the arrows. Same thing on this side as well. And coming down here to the legs, man, look at that texture again right here on his pants and his boots. Just looks very, very nice. Man, such good detail. And you have darker brown right here on the tips of his shoes. So good. I am very, very happy with how this looks. Now, because this is a 5-inch figure, we're going to go ahead and zoom out ever so slightly. He is lacking on the articulation. So the articulation is not that great, which normally I wouldn't care, but it is going to lead into an issue, which you'll see here in a second. But as far as articulation, the head can do a full 360, as you can see here, and it can't really look down at all, but he can look up just a little bit, but not getting anything on the down. And you have like ever so slight head tilt, but really not much. And coming down, the arms can do a full 360. You have a single bend right here at the elbow, and do you have a swivel? You have like a slight swivel. There we go. You kind of have to break it in, but yes, you do have a swivel at the elbow as well. And the wrists do not have any movement whatsoever. You're going to get the same exact movement on this side. And coming to the torso here, he does have torso rotation, which is very nice, but no ab crunch or anything. Then coming down to the legs can do a full split, like a complete split, which actually works really well with Aang, so that's really nice here. The legs also can kick forward really far, and they can kick back really far as well, so you get good movement there. Then you have a very stiff single joint at the knee, which doesn't really go back all that much, if at all, and then getting it back in place. That is it. Nothing in the ankle, and I really feel like these figures do need some ankle pivot, because he has a very hard time standing, especially not having that ab crunch. Yeah, you'll see here, will not really stand like at all whatsoever. So it's going to be interesting to see how I can balance this out on the shelf. But man, I have not been able to get him to stand yet. And it could be the surface that I'm on. Maybe once I get him onto a harder surface, he can stand. But at the moment, he just does not want to stand to save his life. So that is the biggest issue I'm having with it. He really just needs some ankle pivot. But other than that, that's really my only complaint. I get that these are 5-inch figures, but to have a figure and not even really be able to have it stand up is a big problem, especially for collectors, which are going to be a majority of the people that are picking these up. Now, they do make Aang in a 7-inch scale, which has better articulation. However, he doesn't look as good, and you'll see what I mean here, the comparison of the two. This Aang just looks way better as far as the head sculpt and everything goes. I do not know what's wrong with that 7-inch Aang. It looks so weird. But yeah, so that's the biggest complaint here, is the articulation is a little bothersome. And I don't even care that there's not as much articulation, but when I can't even really get him to stand up properly, that's when it becomes just very annoying. Anyways, moving on to his accessories, if we bring in the staff right here, you can see he has like the staff holding hand, so you can just slide that in. And this is going to be my first time doing this actually, so hopefully we can do this with no problems. There you go, so just snap that in place, and he holds the staff like so, and maybe I can use the staff to kind of prop him up, but again, that staff is like very soft and pliable. As you can see, like it's already kind of warped just by putting it into his hand. But let's see if we can kind of get the staff to at least prop him up ever so slightly. So maybe do something like that, maybe. It's not really working out. I'll definitely have to do this off camera, so make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. I'll have pictures posted once I can get him standing. But of course, you also have his glider right here, so see if we can get him in kind of a gliding pose right here. Again, this is going to be my first time trying this, and with him not having any wrist movement, that's actually going to be interesting. Unless he does have wrist. No, the wrists are definitely not moving at all. So this is going to be interesting. So let's see how we can do this. Okay, you guys. So yeah, this does not look good at all. That lack of articulation really starts showing when you really try and pose this figure around. You can see like I have his elbows just bent completely backwards, and I'm sure this isn't the proper way to do it, but this was the only way that I could really figure out how to get him displayed holding the glider. Yeah, so the lack of articulation really does suck as far as just like trying to pose this around. So I don't really know. I'm definitely not going to have him displayed like this anyways, because I'd have to have him hanging for it to make sense. So I'll probably just have him holding the staff, if anything, just like off to a side. But first I have to figure out how to get him to stand up, which is going to be a mission in itself. But yeah, getting him to hold on to this glider was very troublesome with the limited articulation. So it sucks, but I understand. Again, listen, these figures are very affordable. This only costs $15 for this figure, $10 for the basic figure, so you really can't expect too much. So I understand why the lack of articulation is there. It does just suck having it in hand, because these figures just look so good. I really wish that they had the articulation to go with it. Alright, you guys, and for a comparison, okay, so I may have to go back on a few things that I said before. For a comparison, on the left we have the Loyal Subjects BSTAXN version of Aang. We have the McFarlane Toys version of Aang, and we have the Diamond Select version of Aang. Now this is based off Season 3, so he is in a different outfit. However, looking at this head sculpt on the Diamond Select one right here on the right hand side, wow, it's like, I've always loved this figure, and it's always been one of my favorite Avatar figures, but comparing it next to these two here, I mean, this one really looks even better just compared next to these two. And I'm starting to look at this McFarlane one a little different. Now, before doing this video, I thought that this was the best looking one, but he actually looks like, I don't know, super cartoony, super, I don't even know, but he just looks different having him next to these two. Now this one looks like super good and super realistic. I think the head and body proportions of this one look a little bit long, especially compared to some of these. This one was great, but the head sculpt wasn't the best, and he definitely has no neck right here. So this one had potential, but definitely let me down a little bit. But this one here, I was a really big fan of it. It was my favorite one until I pulled out my Diamond Select one and put it next to him, and you can really see the difference here. So I think this Diamond Select version right here might be the best version of Aang. However, I've been really disappointed with the Diamond Select line lately. The new avatar, I said this in my video yesterday, the new avatar state Aang, the head is way too big for the body. The new Sokka doesn't even look like Sokka. I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about the Diamond Select line. I've been a little let down from them lately. I really love all the attention to detail in this McFarlane line. And I think this Aang looks great, don't get me wrong, but when putting him next to all these other Aangs, you do see it starts to look a little different, I guess. Maybe that's not a bad thing, but I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you think. Alright, you guys, so there's my review on the brand new McFarlane Aang with his air glider. Now, I don't know, I have really mixed feelings about this figure. Now, I knew going into it that the articulation wasn't going to be that great, and it really wouldn't bother me too much as long as he can stand up on his own and use the accessories properly that he came with. That's really the only downside to me. Again, I'm not the biggest person when it comes to articulation and displaying my figures in a crazy dynamic pose or anything like that, but I wish I just could get him standing up properly. Maybe once I get him onto a more solid surface, he'll stand up a little bit better, but at the moment I can't even get him to stand up on my review station. Now, I knew that going into that, and I understand that because these figures are priced at $10, that is why the articulation is limited. It's just a little frustrating for me. However, the amount of detail that's in this figure, the accuracy to how it looks in the cartoon, and the different textures you get on the glider as well as the clothes and everything, to me that is the biggest feature of these figures, and hands down, as visually, these are hands down the best Avatar figures that we have gotten. Nobody has really come close, and yeah, so I'm very pleased with visually how these figures look. I wonder if down the line they're going to make a more expensive version of this figure, maybe with upgraded articulation, but at the moment I feel like this is the best version of Aang to get. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I have my complaints, but overall I'm still very happy to have it in my collection. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. That link's in the description down below. And I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. As always, guys, stay tuned for more, and I'll see you guys next time.